In this video we're carving a pawn for a chess set. You can use a 1x1 inch piece of wood for this project, so that would be 2.5 times 2.5 centimeters. But this size is not completely necessary. As you can see, the pawn is quite a lot smaller, so even some scrap pieces could be used for this project. And the reasoning behind this scale that I'm using, along with my wood recommendations for this project, can be found in the introductory video for this series. So if you haven't seen that already, I suggest you go and check that out first. No matter the size of the block you're using, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a cylinder that's 35 millimeters tall and 16 millimeters thick. Usually in my projects I use at least a 6 centimeter block, and that is because with more complicated shapes it's much easier if you have a little bit of extra to hold on to. But the shape of the piece we're making, along with the very simple cuts that we're going to be using, make it so that this is actually quite easy to work with without that extra length. So this is where that drafting compass comes in. You can just use freehand drawing also. Doesn't really make that big of a difference. This just makes the initial shaping a little bit faster because you can make cuts more confidently. And right now the options are either to just whittle this extra bit away, or you can use the faster option if you have the tools required for this and just split the wood instead. And then we can do the rest of the shaping of the cylinder by whittling. It's enough that the base is shaped nicely. The rest of the cylinder doesn't need to be perfect, because we're going to be removing most of this anyways. So once the base is good and the rest is somewhat straight, we can move on to the next step. If you want, you can use the exact same scale that I'm using. That can be seen right here. But in my opinion, after the height and the base diameter, the different measurements don't really matter that much as long as you make all of your pawns look the same. And I would actually encourage you to just follow along the steps without paying too much attention to the different measurements, because that way you don't just copy this down to millimeters, but instead you get a slightly modified version of this, and that is then your unique design for the pawn, and you can just make the rest by copying the measurements of the first one. Next we're turning this into kind of a cone shape, where the top end is going to be about 12 millimeters across. And I think the pairing cut version of the sweeping cut is quite good for this. So I'm still leaving a good amount of space down here. In this step it's important to keep this thumb far away from the blade down here and not over here. This push cut version of the sweeping cut is also an option, but I think it's a little bit harder to control. You can also use the rough cut version of the sweeping cut. That's good. So now I have a somewhat symmetrical shape over here with a 16 millimeter base and a 12 millimeter top. And next we're going to start working on this ball shape on the top. So we're just going to start making V-cuts that go around the piece. And these V-cuts are going to mark the bottom of the ball shape. Especially if you don't have a glove on your non-dominant hand, I suggest you do this first. So you go around the piece and press the blade into the wood like that. And now making these cuts is a bit more controlled. The angle of the inside corner should be kept pretty tight, more open later on, but if you make it too open right away, then you can't do anything about it anymore. So it's best to try to keep this pretty narrow. On the top side it doesn't really matter that much. We can start shaping this into a ball already. But down here we go almost straight into the wood. It's best to also work on the top side of the ball shape, because that way you get another reference point up here for the shape, and that makes it less likely that you cut too much from here. Something like this is good enough for now. We don't need to make this a perfect ball yet. It's better to leave that kind of refining as the last part of this project. Next we're gonna move on to this little cut over here. So somewhere there, and again all around the piece, is where we're gonna make another V cut, very similarly to the previous one. Or actually this is gonna be more of a stop cut, since we need to take away quite a bit of this mass to get it thin like this. So we can just make this push cut version of the sweeping cut and then cut the chips off like that. Once the shape is starting to look pretty good, you're gonna have to make smaller, thinner cuts to refine it bit by bit. And for that, this push cut version of the sweeping cut is the best choice when it comes to refining this inside curve. And once this inside corner is starting to look good, we can then refine this to a little bit further. I'm making it more slanted, and I'm also making the outside edge, so this a little bit thinner. Next we're gonna make this little groove, and I placed it so that this corner right here is about 2 millimeters from the bottom. And for that it's best to make a line that goes all around the piece. And I'm making this line slightly above that 2 millimeter mark, so that then I can still remove some wood below the line. And then you can just press the blade into the wood and go around the base. And then we can start making small stop cuts. And the goal here is to round this top part above this inside corner. Now that I made the line slightly higher than that 2 millimeter mark, I can remove a little bit of wood from the side of the base too. And I can do it like this by sliding the blade, twisting it just a little bit like this, so that then this part of the blade cuts a tiny slice off the base. Right there, you can see what I mean. Just something like that. And this kind of thing can be used on both sides of this groove. Apart from some final adjustments, we only have one more thing left to make, and that is this little inside corner over here. And this too works the same way as the previous cuts. Just go around and then we make some stop cuts. Right above this corner is where the curvature of this middle part can be made a little tighter, so that then this part kind of splays outward. And then once this is done, there's nothing more left except some final adjustments and cleanup. And if you're making an entire set, I recommend you make all of the 16 pawns at first, and only after that you make the final adjustments, so that then the pieces are as similar to each other as possible.